good for Nike yet again, dog. I don't even know how many videos I'm gonna make today about Nike, but it looked like Nike is definitely the star of the damn weekend. All started with the Super.
In a whirlwind of buzz and controversy that has swept across women's basketball, few topics have ignited as much chatter as the latest sneaker deal drama. Our Sport Pulse dives headfirst into the unfolding story that pits two of the league's most dynamic stars against each other, A'ja Wilson and rookie sensation Caitlin Clark, and examines not just the commercial implications, but the underlying tensions in the WNBA's culture. In this expanded analysis, we peel back the layers of the narrative, exploring how silent complicity, media narratives, and commercial choices intertwine to create a saga that is as dramatic off the court as it is exciting on it. At the center of this unfolding drama is A'ja Wilson, a player whose on-court brilliance is unquestionable. Known for her consistent excellence and leadership, Wilson has reached an important milestone in her career, the launch of her signature sneaker.
Super Bowl commercial, them snubbing Caitlin, them putting Caitlin in, them fixing the damn commercial, them dropping A'ja's shoe. Now, come to find out, A'ja Wilson has single-handedly killed.
For 2 years, the anticipation for this release had been building, a fact that she herself was well aware of. And yet, during a critical moment when Caitlin Clark, a rookie whose meteoric rise has redefined expectations in the league, was receiving a fair share of praise and recognition, Wilson's silence spoke louder than words. This situation is not simply about a signature shoe or a marketing strategy gone awry. It is about perception, loyalty, and the murmurings of a fan base that has found itself divided. When Caitlin Clark's new Nike deal was announced, the online chatter was explosive. Some fans even went as far as suggesting that A'ja Wilson's reticence might have been an intentional maneuver, a quiet acceptance that Caitlin's breakthrough deserved the spotlight while Wilson prepared to bask in her own moment of glory, yet chose to remain conspicuously quiet. At first glance, it might seem as though Wilson was merely caught in a moment of distraction, but a closer look reveals that her silence was a calculated act that resonated with many and reverberated throughout the league. Let's rewind a bit to the beginning of the frenzy. When Nike released its Super Bowl commercial, an already contentious backdrop was established. The commercial, which featured an impressive roster of athletes and high-profile personalities, notably omitted Caitlin Clark, the player whose impact on the court had already started to rewrite rookie records.
Oh my goodness, these women was lying. Oh God almighty. They made such a big deal over Caitlin Clark getting a shoe.
Instead, the narrative appeared to center around other marquee names, and it was only after mounting pressure and a scramble to avoid further backlash that Nike made a belated effort to include Clark. This afterthought inclusion in the commercial became a talking point among fans and commentators alike. It was as if the very fabric of the league's promotional strategy was woven with the threads of exclusion, and that exclusion was beginning to reveal a deeper, systemic problem. The controversy was not limited to Nike's choices alone. As the story unfolded, it became evident that Wilson's approach had its own ramifications. With the world watching, A'ja Wilson was seemingly complicit in allowing the narrative to spin out of control. Despite knowing that her own signature shoe was on the horizon, a fact that had been locked in for nearly 2 years, Wilson allowed her supporters and the broader media to cast Caitlin Clark as the villain in this unfolding drama. The irony here is palpable. While Clark was struggling under the weight of unprecedented expectations in her rookie season, Wilson was silently celebrating a major personal milestone that had been in the works long before the uproar began. A number of voices in the media began to note that Wilson's silence, rather than being a passive acceptance, was almost an act of defiance. In a league where every word can spark controversy, Wilson's decision not to publicly address the issue left many to wonder if she was subtly endorsing the narrative that was being spun against Clark. Social media exploded with theories. Was Wilson, in fact, letting her fans direct their ire toward Clark so that she could secure her own moment of glory without interference? Critics argued that by remaining silent, Wilson inadvertently validated the aggressive commentary directed at Clark, and that this silence was emblematic of a broader, more troubling culture within the league.
Hey, why was she complicit? Because, well, she knew she was getting a signature shoe for 2 years, and she let Caitlin Clark take all that hate.
Indeed, as we peel back the layers, it becomes clear that the issue extends far beyond a single shoe release or individual ego. It's a multifaceted debate about recognition, fairness, and the power dynamics at play in professional sports. Caitlin Clark, a rookie with a record-breaking season, found herself in a situation where her achievements were questioned by some, while others cheered her on for revolutionizing the sport. Her performance on the court, dismantling records with dazzling assists, impressive rebounds, and the kind of leadership that belied her newcomer status, should have, in an ideal world, earned her unequivocal support from fans and pundits alike. The silence that Wilson maintained during the period when Clark was receiving her fair share of criticism speaks volumes about the complexities of the situation. Instead of stepping in to clarify the facts or to defend a fellow player who was under intense scrutiny, Wilson allowed the narrative to evolve unchecked. For many observers, this was a missed opportunity to bridge the divide between rival factions of the fan base. Instead of quelling the flames of controversy, her silence was interpreted as a tacit endorsement of the harsher commentary directed at Clark. Critics noted that, in a sport as passionate as women's basketball, silence can sometimes be as powerful as any statement, and in this instance, it seemed to amplify the divisions. Beyond the immediate drama surrounding the shoe deal, there is a larger conversation to be had about the role of marketing and media in shaping public perceptions. Nike, a titan in the sportswear industry, has long been known for its ability to create compelling narratives around athletes. Their decisions carry weight, not just in the realm of commerce but in the broader cultural landscape. The missteps in their promotional campaign, most notably, the omission of a star rookie like Caitlin Clark from the original commercial, raise important questions about how brands navigate the fine line between commercial interests and genuine representation.
Is what you would want your future sneaker to look like.
I think the biggest thing for me is just I would love a low-top shoe. I play in a low-top shoe, so that's something that I would love to have carry over, and something that looks good. That's so key to me.
When a company as influential as Nike appears to overlook the contributions of a player who has revitalized the game, it sends a message that is difficult to ignore. Sometimes business decisions are prioritized over the organic stories that make sports so captivating. This isn't to say that the situation is black and white. In reality, the interplay between brand marketing, player recognition, and fan sentiment is an intricate dance. There is no single villain or hero in this narrative. Instead, we have a series of interlocking stories that reflect the evolving dynamics of the WNBA. On one side, there is Caitlin Clark, an embodiment of new talent, innovation, and the power of modern sports media. On the other, there is A'ja Wilson, whose legacy is built on years of excellence, leadership, and the weight of history. And then, there is Nike, a brand whose influence spans continents and whose decisions can uplift or undermine the stories of those who grace the court. Our Sport Pulse has watched these events unfold with a mixture of excitement and concern. The debate is not merely about which player should receive more credit or whose deal is more prestigious. It is about how the WNBA, as an institution, handles the pressures of modern sports marketing and how it navigates the expectations of a diverse fan base. When narratives are constructed in a way that pits athletes against one another, the result is often a fractured community, one where the focus shifts from celebrating excellence to engaging in endless debates over perceived slights and missteps.
So y'all can record this, you cannot record it, but the biggest thing I want everybody to hear me say right now, it's about fucking time.
In dissecting the situation further, it is important to acknowledge the broader cultural context. The WNBA has long been a platform for both athletic brilliance and social commentary. In many respects, the league has served as a microcosm of larger societal issues where race, gender, and the politics of recognition intersect. When critics began to question the rationale behind Caitlin Clark's signature shoe deal, there were those who argued that the backlash was not simply about sports. It was about challenging established norms and confronting the biases that often seep into professional athletics. Some observers suggested that the criticism aimed at Clark was laced with subtle hints of elitism and even racism, a claim that only deepened the divide among fans and pundits alike. In this light, A'ja Wilson's silence can be seen as emblematic of the complexities inherent in being a veteran in an evolving league.
Officially took off running. We got A'ja Wilson talking about, I've been waiting 2 years for this. Wait, 2 years for this?
While she is undoubtedly celebrated for her accomplishments, multiple MVP awards, championship titles, and a storied career that places her among the greats, Her decision not to weigh in on the controversy left many wondering about the unspoken agreements that exist between players and the league's narrative makers. By not defending a fellow player who was clearly under attack, Wilson inadvertently became a symbol of the selective support that has long plagued the sport. Instead of offering a unifying message, her silence allowed the criticism of Caitlin Clark to spiral out of control, reinforcing a culture in which only certain narratives are given credence.
Waiting 2 years for this, and then we got Cheryl Swoops. There it is. Swoops, there it is. Cheryl Swoops couldn't help but embarrass herself. Oh.
It is also worth reflecting on the role of the media in amplifying this drama. The discourse surrounding these events has been fueled by a multitude of voices, ranging from established sports analysts to fervent social media commentators. Every statement, every tweet, and every segment on television has added another layer to the story. Some commentators have argued that the media's focus on conflict and